I'm Draven, and I think the next couple of weeks are going to be very busy. As you might be able to tell, we have another unboxing today. I think there's 2 things in this box, which is concerning because this box is super beat up. And if not, maybe it'll show up tomorrow and we'll have a kind of 2-part thing going on. But yeah, recently I asked Zounds to send me a couple things that I've been wanting to check out, and also one thing that you might see that you guys have asked me tons and tons about. So I went ahead and got one. And yeah, I'm gonna try and make this video not super long, but I'm really excited what's in this box. So we're gonna go ahead and do this one first, since there's 2 boxes in here, I think, and see what we got. Like I said, this box kind of seems like it got really tossed around, so hopefully nothing's broken. One of these days I'll hopefully figure out how to stop putting my address on screen. God. Yeah, this box has seen better days. We do have 2 boxes in here. I guess we'll go with kind of like last time, the smaller box first. So this smaller box is something that I personally wanted to really check out. I don't think I've had anybody, mention this kind of thing on the channel, but figured it'd make a really cool video. A couple months ago, I did some reamps for my buddy Chris. He plays in a band called Body Snatcher, and he also does like studio work and stuff. And I do a lot of the guitars for the stuff that he mixes. And so we were working on an album. On the album, supposedly all the guitars on the album were the same guitar, but there was one song where the guitars sounded like worlds better. And so Chris reached out to the guy that recorded the band, because Chris was just mixing it. And when they were tracking the album, I guess during one of the songs, instead of using like a DI box to record the guitar DIs, they used one of these. So this is a Heritage Audio HA73, which is basically a kind of Neve 1073 preamp. And so, like I said, the guitars in that specific song that they used this sounded way better. And so I wanted to test that out and see if, that actually, if it's something that's, really good for tracking guitars. Because typically I just use a DI box, but like I said, that one sounded incredible. So, like I said, this is a 1073 kind of thing, mic preamp. And I was kind of just planning on buying one. But then I remembered that I could make Zounds send me it and let me try it out first. So that's what this little thing is. Very interested to see if that makes a huge difference or not. All right, to the next one. Ibanez. Saw this on the website, and lately I've just been on like a big guitar kick. For a good while I didn't really care about guitars. I was much more just interested in like only amps, but over the last couple years I've gotten more and more interested in them, and I'm obviously a big fan of like the Evertune systems. And so Ibanez recently came out with a guitar that I saw that had an Evertune that I was like, okay, I really need to try that. So luckily I was able to get Zounds to send me one. And I am extremely excited about it. this is, so far this looks really cool. If I can get it out of this wrapper. Oh wow. This has like some pretty serious sharp edges on the frets. That's a bummer. Dang. So this is, anyways, so this is the newer RGR52ET. It's just your kind of standard RG kind of thing, but with Fishman, I think, monos in Evertune, 25.5 inch scale. Not sure on the woods and stuff. And to my surprise, it actually doesn't have locking tuners, which is weird for an Evertune equipped guitar. It's like very normal to just have locking tuners on it. So that's odd. This came with a battery. I'll try and get some like cooler shots of this. This lighting isn't super good right now. I mean, frets are pretty bad, but it does look cool. So we will kind of see. It's super dry out and cold, so maybe that's affecting it a little bit, but we'll have to see kind of what happens. I'll definitely make sure to kind of address that and see what's going on there. 3-way selector. I'm guessing this is the like voicing selector for the Fishman's. Tone knob, volume, which is a push-pull. That's interesting. I wonder what that could be doing. So maybe this is the voices, and then maybe this does like a split coil thing or something. But I mean, looks really cool. So hopefully, maybe once this is more adjusted or something, the fretwork will kind of come back to not being so sharp or something. And then lastly, we have this guy. Hopefully this one doesn't have sharp fredges. I'm just setting it down here since it'll be a little easier to pull out. All right, and look at that. We finally have, why is everything so dusty? Finally have an Engl on the channel, which we will go ahead and kick on and see. Just a quick like first look into it. I've never played any Engl amps, so very interested to see how it goes. Yeah, let's go ahead and plug this in and see how it sounds. All right, so we're back. It's been a couple of days. I kind of got sidetracked with some other stuff before finishing up this unboxing video. I also kind of just wasn't really feeling it. Typically on my channel, I don't even really like to show stuff that I don't think is good, as well as I'm kind of just easy to please. Like, it's pretty rare that I get something that I don't think is like usable, but specifically with this guitar, I'm pretty bummed about it. Luckily, I got this on loan from Zounds, so I didn't pay any actual money for this, luckily. I've demoed a good handful of guitars on the channel, and never had a guitar show up and kind of be in any sort of bad shape, but this guitar is kind of really bad. The fretwork is super, like, the frets are super sharp. The setup is really bad. Probably not, like, super important, but I think it's really silly that this guitar has an Evertune and doesn't have locking tuners. I'm sure it still works the same and still works great, but I don't understand why they would do that. Especially this guitar being like $1,500. I don't think there's any excuse to not have locking tuners. I will say though, I am actually kind of liking the Fishmans, which is pretty cool. But otherwise, if I had paid money for this, I would be furious. And so over the last couple days, I've just been thinking about it a lot and kind of just like looking back at a lot of the things that I've covered on the channel and stuff. And it made me realize a lot of the bigger brand stuff that I've demoed compared to like smaller companies, I'm not nearly as like excited about. And going back even further from me starting the channel, ever since I started playing guitar, I was like really into Ibanez's. But over the kind of like 8 years that I've been playing guitar, I don't think Ibanez has put out like a single guitar that has actually been what I wanted. It's been kind of like, oh, that's close, or like, that's cool, but not really my thing. And so that kind of just had me thinking a lot about just bigger brands in general. And it's given me even more appreciation for smaller brands, just for the fact of there's so many brands out there that aren't Ibanez or, you know, ESP or whatever, that make stuff that I'm actually super interested in, and not stuff that's just kind of close enough. So for instance, say this guitar wasn't messed up and I was super excited to demo this, but I don't think I would buy this guitar either way. I'm not super big on gold, and obviously I like tuning really low, and this is just a 25.5-inch scale. And again, I also would be pretty annoyed about the lack of locking tuners, since one of the reasons that I like Evertune so much with locking tuners is I can change my strings insanely fast. And with that being said, I know that, you know, working with a lot of smaller companies and stuff, it does get a little more expensive, but also I would rather pay $2,000 for a custom guitar that is perfect to my specs rather than pay $1,500 for this and it might show up unplayable, basically. And this isn't to say that everything that Ibanez makes is going to end up like this. This is just some of my thoughts kind of over the span of me playing guitar. I've definitely played a couple Ibanez's that were really good. For a while I had a RGD7421 that I really liked, but also it didn't sound how I wanted it to sound, and so I eventually sold that. And so with this, I'm not trying to bash Ibanez or anything like that. Basically, the point that I'm trying to get across is just that before buying something like this, look into some smaller brands that have things that are more specifically your style, or talk to some smaller custom builders, because you might be able to get exactly what you want instead of kind of something that's close enough. And with that, you're also getting more of a personalized experience. You're not just ordering from some big company, you're actually talking to a person who cares about the thing that you want. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to put that in here since I've been thinking about that a ton the last few days. And so with that out of the way, we do have a good portion of this. We're going to be taking a quick look at the Engl Fireball 100. Within the next couple weeks, I'll have a full video on this, but we're going to just kind of dial in some quick tones with it. I really wanted to check out an Engl since I haven't played any at all. And I've definitely read a lot online about people not liking them very much. And so I've always been kind of hesitant to get one. I've had a couple of people offer me some in trades and stuff like that, but just given what I've heard about them, never really felt like it was like a safe trade, I suppose. But I'm honestly kind of impressed with it. It's definitely very different, which on one hand is kind of cool for me. It's very like unique, but I think that's enough of me ranting. We'll go ahead and check this out really quick and see how it sounds. If you end up enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, I have some affiliate links down in the description where you're going to pick something up. It helps me out a ton. And let me know down in the comments some of your horror stories with getting guitars in or even amps and stuff. And let's check out the Engl. First, I'll play a little bit with the Ibanez. Hopefully I don't cut my fingers open. And then I'll grab my WKM and we'll see how it sounds as well. Yeah, that's not very enjoyable to play. I'll go ahead and kick on a boost, which this is the Obsidian Audio The Devil. And yeah, I think it sounds pretty cool. Really excited to kind of mess with it in some mixes and stuff. It kind of has like a weird like hole in the frequency, like it's almost like preemptively scooped. So I'm really excited to see how it works in mixes and stuff. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching.